Welcome back to Cole's Community Corner. This is where I sit down with my friends from across the world, across the nation, some might say, and get their perspective on Star Wars Unlimited, both as a player, about maybe their locale. You know, RVA, sometimes we get a little tunnel visioned, paying attention to just what's going on locally. But today I am sitting down with another one of my best friends, Taylor, Big Mike's brother. Everybody give a round of applause. Welcome, Taylor.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh my God, I'm honored to be in the cantina, the
Oh, the
scrumpiest and the
scruffiest, the
lumpiest.
wampest, the raddest cantina is welcome here. It's
I'm
our
I'm glad to
fine
be here in
Wookiee
the.
leather chairs, which was
I
ethically
was gonna say
sourced.
like
It was not ethically
hearing
sourced.
the lo-fi Ewok music going crazy right now.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous putting that music in the end, but I know some people liked it, and like, I had 12 minutes of gameplay because people have been enjoying watching like the campaigns and stuff, and I was like, I can't just cut out 12 minutes of gameplay. So I was like, you know
It's kind
what?
of cool.
Yeah, and then in
It's
this
good
series
seeing
we're doing
the.
Republic Commando. What's you know what?
Ooh.
I don't have this in the script. I'm just curious. I'm just riffing. What's your number one Star Wars video game of all time? I think I know
Ooh.
the answer to this, but I want to hear it.
Oh, you actually, I want to hear what you think it is first.
I think it's Battlefront 2 2005.
See, that is definitely up there. I would say that's either like one or two, but there is like a full love for Star Wars Unleashed. Um,
Ooh, The Force Unleashed
the
is
Force Unleashed,
is a really good effing game.
dude, it like the developers just knew how to tickle every part of my pickle on that one.
So I've got a fun fact for you. I don't know if you know this. There's three different versions of that game. Four if you include the phone version. So there was a version that was put
Well,
out on Xbox and PS3. There was a version that
yep,
was put out only on the Wii. There was a version
yep.
that was put out on the PSP, and there was a version that was put out on the phones. So if you find old ROMs and you've never played one of those versions, it has a slight difference on the story and gameplay. Fun fact.
But you forget about the one on Steam that runs absolutely horrible.
That is the 360 version, and it is a
Is it?
PS3 port, and PS3 ports do not work on Steam. You are correct.
Yeah, it is like the worst thing. I was never ever able to get to the campaign on my PC because it just never worked. But yeah, either Battlefront 2 from 2005 or The Force Unleashed. I mean, both of those are just like so nostalgic to me. The Force Unleashed has such a great story.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll even go later into that with like some of the questions we have about like what do I want to see in the future. But
I'd love to see Star Killer. That'd be great.
I would kiss a man for
It's
it.
also a tragedy that we did not get Force Unleashed 3 after such a cool hype up with Boba Fett in the end. But whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
Off topic, I know.
No, well, I mean, I asked the question. So,
Hey.
I guess I got our first question here. When did you first get into Star Wars Unlimited?
So I got in relatively near when Big Mike did. I mean, considering he's my brother and everything, it was kind of like slowly brought into me. Like right at the very end of Shadows. I remember after like my first week of playing the game, the pre-release of Twilight dropped, and I remember you giving me like the Ahsoka and General Grievous pre-release cards, and I was like, oh my god, these are sick.
Dude, I still stand by that it was a cool set. It just the keywords were not good.
Yeah, coordinate wasn't it.
Dude, exploit and coordinate, they sound really cool in theory, and then you got to keep the things on the board, and you're like, ooh, that doesn't work. That doesn't-
I don't mind exploit, especially with how much like token generation we have now. But coordinate, like there weren't enough coordinate things going on that would be like this is amazing. Besides like maybe what's his name?
Echo was the only one I ever liked.
Echo and the guy that gives was it +2 or
Oh,
is it
oh,
+1?
Commander Cody gives +1/+1 to
Commander
everybody. Yeah,
Cody.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you, yes. Those are only like two things I can really think of coordinate that I was like, yeah, these are good.
Yeah, I wish it was better. Oh, Plo Koon too, but once again, we're
Oh,
talking
Plo Koon
Unleashed stuff.
was good. Yeah.
So once again, I think I know the answer to this question, but there's considered right now three, about to be four. Once again, a trilogy's not going to be relevant. Like I have a huge collection, and I don't want to play
You'll
trilogy.
never know.
Dude, I could be wrong. Do you prefer Premier, Limited, or Twin Suns when you play?
So I think this goes into a lot of my experience with the game, and that's primarily just with you and Michael and an extra buddy if you bring it in. I don't have a local game store like an LGS. I'm so caught up with work, and the ones that do play it around me are always on the days I work, so I don't go out and play ever. So I really struggle with like doing Premiere and especially limited. Um, I've only done one limited out of my entire time here, and that was for Secrets. I finally found a store up here in Northern Virginia where I live, and I did the Secrets pre-release, and that was actually really fun. I got absolutely dogged on by a 7-year-old. That we don't need to talk about that.
Bro, we've all been
Um,
there. Please, don't worry, don't worry. We all been there. We all been there.
but like I can tell you the pretty easy like one, two, three for me if I have to rank them. Number one's like without a doubt Twin Suns. The amount of fun you can do amongst just different leaders and how many combos there are, even with only one card of each copy. There's so much to do, and there's so much more fun, especially with 80 cards. You have so much more variety to go with. After that's definitely Premiere. Just sticking with your normal game format of like the other games I've been part of, like with Yu-Gi-Oh, a little bit of Pokemon. Like it's very familiar reminiscence of that, so I'm used to it. Um, it's fun as well, just like being able to like do some crazy combos because you know like a very consistent hand that's going to come up. And then, as I said, I've only done limited once. I guess I technically I did it with Michael's bachelor party, where that was kind of
Yeah,
a
the
limited.
gift bundle was kind of fun. Yeah,
That was fun. But I would definitely say limited's last, just because I haven't had enough experience with it.
that's very fair. So what kind of decks you been building lately in Twin Suns? You got some interesting deck combos.
Yeah. I mean, I think I need to shout out my OG Twin Suns deck, which was like the most disgusting thing to ever exist. And that was my Boba Fett from Spark with Maul,
Oh, that's right. I
which was
remember this now.
just the resource refilling and bringing Boba out and slapping like a lightsaber on him for no reason, and the next turn followed up with Maul and then slap like a fallen lightsaber on him. It was just disgusting. It was just stupid how it always worked out, and I somehow always got ganged up on, but always pulled it out.
It was impressive. I can't lie.
Um, my current deck though is Luke from JTL and Leia from Spark. There's just so much great synergy between them. So many rebels to go with, as well as just fighter space units for Luke to attach onto. Um, I think I'm running a blue base with it.
Yeah, it's a good combo. I used to run that before I replaced Cassie or I replaced Luke Pilot with Cassian, but I think the Luke Pilot one's more fun.
Yeah.
Cassian's
Um,
sweaty.
I I did at a small time run. I didn't shouldn't say I ran. I tried to run a Cad Bane Rio Durant deck, or as I call Kevin Durant. And let me tell you, let me just inform you of how awful it was.
Dude, as someone with a graded Rio, you don't have to tell me how awful he is.
I,
It's impossible. I have tried countless times.
well, it's because like there's a lot of transports that are also underworld. So I was like, okay, maybe I can make this work. And like, yeah, you get some pings with CAD here and there, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'll get a +1 with this transport. But then you also realize that most transports just suck.
They really do. There's just my dumbass at one point was like, "Escape pod being a one drop changes the game." It really doesn't. It
No,
really doesn't.
no.
I am excited to
Um,
build some new decks next set. The most recent one that I built was the Nalase Lamasu deck, but that Agent Callus spoiler, ooh, I want to make a Trooper deck. That looks
yeah.
fun.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to play with that just because it's a one cost to ignore all
Which
aspect
is
penalties.
crazy.
So you can run a heroism, and then two aspects that you're also running that would have been a six additional resource for just one. Um, I think it's going to be insane. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see what you do with it, especially on the flip side where you heal for every
Mm-hmm.
heroism card you play with it too. I think it's going to be a blast.
I'm looking forward to that one.
like
You
the
throw
blast
that in with
token.
like a Iden Versio just because you don't care about aspects. So you got that
Gosh.
healing. Oh, that'd be crazy.
Yep. Um, for my premier decks though, I also like my first deck I ever built premier wise was my Anakin Blywalker, which was just blue Anakin. Um, I love that deck oh so much. Um, I really don't want to change it to green with how everything's been going, and eventually he's gonna be rotated out here pretty soon. But when JTL came, I did slap like Colossus with it just to have that extra HP to make Anakin even more of
Mm-hmm.
a menace.
To
Um,
society, of course.
but for my premier deck, my current one, I am loving my Obi-Wan Blue from Legends of the
Ooh,
Force.
that's what I'm. After rotation, if Boba Burn, if it gets like wrecked by the fact that I lose a couple very key cards, I'm going back to Obi-Wan Blue as well.
It's just so much fun. You can go not like super wide with it, but like a nice like beefiness. And now you just have everyone with +1/+1. Because generating the force in that deck, I mean, you're only running force units. I also may have been a little bit of a cardboard addict and bought in a lot of boxes during Legends.
You know, who's to say?
And
You know, boxes are good.
yeah, I may have like, I don't know, 7 Yaddles.
Ooh, you're
So
rich.
that was like an absolute in that deck just because of how good it is
It's
getting
such a
everything
good card.
restore.
So I guess I got a question for you because you said you don't go to LGSs, so we'll skip that question.
I
What
mean,
is your
I can
hope?
hit on it a little bit.
Okay, sure. Yeah, please tell me then about the last time you were there for. So then I guess how many people are you guys getting your weekly for your LGS, or like just what kind of vibes have you been picking up at that store you've gone to a couple times?
I mean, I don't know the weekly because I haven't been there during the play. However, I heard a lot about it during the pre-release of Secrets because apparently that was like the community there. Which was also really intimidating because I went to play with you at your local, and there was like maybe 8 to 12 people there when I went. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, cool. And then I pulled up to this place in Northern Virginia, and I walk in this pre-release, and there's 40 people there, and
That's
I'm like,
insane.
oh my Christ. So I was so intimidated, being like, hi guys, I haven't done this before. Built an awful Lutheran deck. Got smacked around by a 7-year-old. We don't need to talk about that. He was picking his nose, and then I may have kicked one of his dice under
Oh, what a
a big.
shame. Oh,
But that's besides the point. I will say though, I think that game store, like when I was asking people, just like what the average amount of people in there, they have a good amount. They say they range about 15 to 20, like just for weeklies. Um,
that's pretty good.
I mean, especially with Northern Virginia being like a much denser area, I believe it. The people there were super excited. It was also on Halloween, so like everyone was dressed up.
Oh, that's a hoot.
Um, so it was pretty cool going there.
So, what are your hopes for the future of this game as a player?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with FFG. Seeing what they can do. I think obviously I want to see more love with Twin Suns, and obviously we're already getting that with the pre-con decks from Lawless, which I'm really excited to see because I mean they already look sick. Um, I want to see also like an actual push for them to advertise this game because I really don't feel like I see that. That yes, they created Intro to Hoth, which was god awful. I bought it just to have it for my collection. And when you look at it actually as like is a good intro, it's not a bad thing. It's actually solid. Do I like how they like numbered the cards and you know what you're going to draw? Yeah, but you can also just shuffle the deck and play normally.
Mm-hmm.
I taught one of my friends with Intro to Hoth, and he actually enjoyed it. He just didn't have the money at the time to really get in the game, which just meant he was even broker than I was at the time because I think this is the most affordable cardboard game to get into at the moment. Um,
You're
but
100% right.
I think for card wise, like concept cards, I really want to see actual new leaders and not just like the same reprints over and over again. I
Thank
mean,
you.
we've gotten what 2 Bobas, we've gotten 2 Landos now.
Three
Um,
Bobas and three
it, oh,
Landos,
it
actually.
that's correct with the Lawless one that just got announced. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's so many reprints of the same leaders, and yeah, I get it. Like you want to see the leaders in the new sets outside of rotation coming up, but like where's my Ezra Bridger leader, huh? We
That's
got
what I'm
Kanan, and
saying.
that's hype. We got Sabine. We got two Heras. What?
Which does the
Like,
same thing.
give me a Zeb. Give me an Ezra. I don't give me a chopper. If we dropped a chopper, I would run that thing on my life.
Dude, I would Chopper and his flavor text is the deadliest in the rebellion.
Yeah. Or just like Choppa with the Apostapa.
I just want them to
Um,
lean into Legends stuff now that we have so many cards from Legends.
oh my goodness, absolutely. I would love to see them go further into Legends as well. Like I said, with like Star Killer, I would love to see Star Killer on a card and just I don't care if he gets banned immediately. I just want him to be busted. Almost like my hopes with Revan. And I mean he's like okay. Um like there's definitely ways to play Revan with like Revan Yellow. I've been seeing Revan Blue.
Yeah, it's been getting a
Um
little bit more relevant. It's still just eventually we're gonna get some package, or and maybe this is my copium, and maybe I'm smoking all the copium in the world, and that's okay. I just think at some point in the next three sets, maybe it'll be the final set before rotation. We're gonna get some crazy crap that just breaks Revan. Hopefully,
yeah. I do want to see a lot more stuff going into either the comics or the actual books. Like, dude, drop a set about just the the Siths. I don't care.
that would be cool.
Tell me tell me how sick it would be just to see all villainy leaders Darth, 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 Darth.
That would be really cool.
I would lose it. And then running a Twin Sons game of just like the Master the
Maslow
Apprentice,
Sith.
dude, it would be so sick seeing that. Um, I think also just for like lore wise, it'd be really fun playing with them. I definitely want to see that more, like going into like these next sets. Um, I was hoping, as we've talked a lot, I was really hoping with Lawless Time we'd get more pirates and like
We've only
hooligans.
seen about 20% of the set, to be fair. I'm going to get onto Steve's optimism train of it's coming.
I do believe, and I know I was just saying I want to see new leaders, but I do want to see a new Hondo Anaka leader.
Oh, please, please make one just relevant. Listen, I appreciate that you're trying to respect him. We've got 3 Hondo units now. 2 are okay, one's very bad. And the leader
Yeah,
is just not playable, and ironically, not playable with any of the Hondo units. So, yes,
yeah.
please put some respect on Hondo Onaka.
Give me a new Hondo leader. I think it'd be really fun, especially with credits coming out. I mean, that's his bread and
That's his
butter.
thing. That's his thing. Do you have a favorite set from the game so far, Taylor?
Um, yeah, I definitely do. Um, I think without a doubt, I love Legends the most. It came out with such great cards. It introduced legend cards, which we were just talking about. I think all the leaders are fun. There are some that are meh, but I like in Twin Suns you can use a lot of them. Even like Ahsoka and um, Morgan Elsbeth. Like there's ways to use them and have fun with them. I also think like generating the Force had like made a lot of fun interactions with things, and they gave a lot of different cards interactions with it, like Ute, where like yes, he's a Force unit, and we only really see him in one movie, but it's so good to see him become such a great character, even though his leader was god awful.
True.
I think after that though, I mean this I guess like the sets I've really been around, right? For because I wasn't really here for Spark, I really wasn't here for Shadows, but I remember JTL coming out and just being so hyped for it because one, I think they really one thing I wish they did with JTL was actually give us like vehicle leaders. I wish they gave us like the Death Star as a leader, and it was like an 8 or 9 resource, or even 10 resource leader, and it's just like a super laser blast or some shit when it like drops. Um, I wish I saw more of that, but I still think everything in that set, especially pilots, was a really cool thing to come out. Um, they did get kind of pooped on a little bit with all the upgrade hate, but with the rotation going out, I think JTL is going to have a big spotlight on it for it being like massively.
Absolutely.
overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Um, I do want to say though, as like an honorable mention, Twilight is just, even though the keywords were not hot during the set, there were so many great cards that came out of it that are so cool. Especially the leaders, I find. Like again, I have to throw love to my Anakin. Um, they're like Anakin coming out of there, and then me playing with him and just being like, I don't care if I take damage on my base. I'm gonna swing for 11 now.
I mean, I feel you. I played Rex for 3 freaking sets.
Oh, I am quite aware with your Rex double green that made me puke.
Dude, the before Unity of Purpose existed, it was a deck that everyone was like, "Why on God's green earth are you playing this?" I'm like, "Oh no,
And then the Unity of Purpose came out, and you're like, this is why I played it.
this is why I play this game." Have you pulled any showcases in your pursuits?
Okay. Yes, I have. But before I get to my showcase, I want to talk about how I am the GOAT at giving showcases.
This is very true.
I before I had not pulled a single showcase until Legends. And before that, I had done Christmas, as you heard Michael in the last episode talk about his Krennic he got. I bought pulls myself and Michael's packs just out of a booster box. There was like two separate booster boxes, and I was like, "This is great. I'll just buy like a handful. I think I bought like 12 packs, and pretty much played eeny, meeny, miny, mo with them of who got what. I grabbed four, got diddly squat for them, gave one to Michael. You know what he pulled on Christmas Day? That was wow. That was a great Christmas. Krennic. And I was like, oh my god, I could have had that. That would have been sick. Because at the time he was also playing Krennic GI, which was like even
So good.
more like gangster for him to pull that at the same time. And then a week later, I see you, and I'm like, here's Cole, here's your gift. And I give you that pack, and you get super great. But like a week later, you're like, hey Taylor, can you go pick up a box of, I think
Oh
it
my
was
God, I remember
Shadows?
this. It was Twilight.
Was it Twilight?
It was Twilight.
And I'm like, absolutely. And I bought a box too. And then I guess what? I played Eeny, Meeny, Mino, Go again with these boxes. I'm like, here's yours and here's mine. And we opened them right in front of each other. And you put a Quinlan Voss
Yes, I
showcase in front of
did.
me.
Yes, I did.
And I was just like, what is my luck? And then you're like, don't worry, there's a chance. There's a chance. And I was like, no, there's not. No,
No,
there's
there's not
not.
Cole.
I mean, like, I got like Maul out of that, which was pretty cool. But like I've given two showcases away just off my own defeat.
Oof. Well,
um,
technically, you've gotten
however,
3 then.
that is true. However, the showcase I did pull was my Obi-Wan Kenobi from Legends of the Force, which when I pulled it, I squealed like one of the three little pigs.
It's a banger.
Um, it was so funny too because I was in Maryland seeing my girlfriend at the time, or I guess current girlfriend still. Um, and I grabbed a box and I'm talking with my girlfriend and I'm like, is this the right box? And without skipping a beat, she just like grabs the one under it and just puts mine back. She's like, nah, this one's it. And I'm like, okay, sure. She's driving back and not like it's like the second pack in the box too.
Dude,
I
girlfriend
ripped the
luck's a real thing, I
Obi-Wan,
swear to God.
dude, dude. She pulls the cards every time because she doesn't like the game at all. She doesn't play it, but she loves opening the packs. I'm like, Tanya, I want you to know, if you open a showcase, I'm gonna cry in front of you. And I pulled it, and I was so happy. And then she was like, "Yeah, I picked that box." And I was like, "I love you so much." And then we made sweet passionate love after that. But
Well, that's a
that's
good
the only
story.
showcase I pulled.
So I got a couple more questions for you. Do you think
Goodness.
rotation's gonna work, or do you think it's gonna fail and most stores are just gonna say, "F it, we play Eternal here"?
I think there's gonna be like an actual healthy split with it, in my opinion. Um, I definitely do think some stores are just gonna be like, "Yeah, we're not doing that. We're playing Eternal because that's just what our community wants to do." But I also do think some other stores, or what I believe the majority of stores are going to do if they have a good population, is they're going to do both. They're either going to assign different times on the same day or do different days where they say, this day's eternal, this day is rotation, and that's how it is. And I've heard like a lot of mixed reviews about how they feel with rotation, and how is it actually going to be applied? I think it definitely has its pluses and minuses. I think there's a big plus to seeing new cards and new strategies because I mean I cannot tell you how much I can just see the same double yellow card and see like a cunning coming out, or I know a command's coming or a vigilance, and I'm like, well, I know this is in the deck because it's a double color. But with rotation coming out, you're like, you're not going to see this anymore, especially with the leaders. Like Sabine's going to be gone, my Anakin's going to be gone. Um, you're going to have some new spotlight leaders coming that are going to be like the big meaningful push. I think Vader and Boba from GTL are going to be these huge powerhouses. Really depends on what Lawless Time gives us for control wise.
Mm-hmm.
But I also do think that Vigilance was very, very powerful in these past sets, and they're losing a lot of support with it going away.
I mean, if you look at the
Um,
lately, the PQs are just OG Han and Yoda Data Vault,
yeah.
which is so fun and so diverse.
Now, what I do think what will happen is when I said there's going to be a split of some playing Eternal, some playing Rotation, is I actually think Twin Suns might become more popular for this
I hope.
because Twin Suns is always Eternal, not just a game format. So I think what they might do is Premier will be rotation, and they're going to say, don't worry, we also have an active Twin Suns game going on at the same time. That's Eternal, build a deck. So you can still play at the same time, the same store, and you're going to have probably like 8 people playing Premier, and then like your core 4 homeboys over here playing Twin Suns.
I could dig that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that take.
I I do think there will be a separation, and I do think I do believe that Twin Suns will become more popular with it. One with FFG actually pushing for Twin Sun support, and also with the separation in a format that is always going to be eternal, people actually wanting to get into it.
Agreed. I'm looking forward to it. You just touched on our final question. How do you feel that FFG is doing as the producer of this game?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of hits and there's a lot of misses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Hits wise, I do believe every set that's come out has been successful. Has it been successful as Spark or even like Legends, where I think it really came back pretty well? Eh. But I do believe in their own way, each set was unique enough to push the current momentum of the game to keep bettering itself. Um, I do believe even with the rise of these other new card games coming out, like Gundam and One Piece, I think Dragon Ball even has a card game now. Like
They do.
I
So
do
does League
believe,
of Legends, of all things.
yeah, which is not a big fan. But I still do believe there are newcomers coming into the game that are getting interested just because of Star Wars and how cool it is and the lore and legacy behind it. And I do believe it can continue to be doing good as long as they give them the proper support and keep putting in what they want. And especially if they keep listening to the players. I think that is your biggest asset right now. I think it's what's going to differentiate them between a lot of other producers is actually listening to players. Um, like we finally heard with all this time, getting rid of foils, pushing more hyperspaces.
I like that.
People have been talking about how awful the foils have been for so long, and they finally got rid of them. Then everyone complained about always getting rare bases in the rare slot. They switched it to the base slot, which is a huge improvement. That's what we all wanted, and they finally listened to it for us. And I'm so glad they did. And I think if they really keep pushing for listening to the community, they will succeed much, much more than these other new card games popping up. Now, the misses I find is that they just don't play test their cards enough. I mean, you get these cards from new sets and you're like, yo, that's broken because it just genuinely is. Like, when I
Thank you.
first saw Wartime Juggernaut, oh my god, I was like, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep
Dude, they
tonight.
knew it. I always reference that
Exactly.
stupid effing article that they're like, play Django and Warjug. They knew they broke the game. And they were like, huh, this is
Exactly.
funny.
Like they know they're gonna break games when they don't play test these cards enough, or even put them in the hands of people soon enough to let them test the games, run out the variations. And obviously you can't test every single combination.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
realistic. But look at these cards that have combos. I mean, you could have shown me Wartime Juggernaut before you showed me any of the other cards, and I would have said that's going with Django right now. Like there's guaranteed.
There's
Like
another
you
really
can
good
see.
example. When has become now the plot card. Originally, when they wrote, they had to change the wording on the card. The original version they put out stated that it would do plot, and before the plot mechanic, it also stated to resource a card. So you were resourcing a card and plot resourcing a card. So they accidentally wrote in a free resource.
Yeah, which was crazy. I mean, like you know if something's gonna break it very easily by looking at the card. I mean, it's so obvious to see that. And I also do believe that is partially why they're doing rotation to try to get rid of some of these like huge meta plays. Now, as I said earlier, I played Yu-Gi-Oh growing up a lot. That was like my original card game I really got into. And the way they did it was with a ban list and a
Mm-hmm.
semi-limited list and a limited list. And I think there's pluses and minuses to that. I think part of it kind of sucks because you now have like a book to read every like 3 to 6 months for Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't play it anymore just because it got so expensive to keep up with. I mean, like
It's a
you'd play
thousand
one deck
dollars
and then
for a
half your
comp deck. It's
yeah
crazy.
half your deck would get banned, and you're like, ah, well, I'm broke again. Um, so I do think rotation is good in that behalf, where they're trying to do better, but I also want them to possibly try like limiting cards in these premier sins, where you don't have to outright ban them, just limit them to one or two per deck. And I think if you do that, you can have an established like even if you had Jenga with Wartime Juggernaut, you have a 50 card deck. You say you can only have one copy in that deck. I mean, so far, how many bans do we really have? What, four,
So
five?
I will remind you that technically they are not bans. They are temporary suspensions until
Suspended.
FFG can
Yeah.
determine a better way around them. But it is Force Throw, it is Triple Dark Raid, it is Boba from Spark, it is
hmm
Django from Twilight. I believe that is it.
Yeah. I one, again, I don't think I believe that if you play the limited option besides Boba was just busted. If you allow to only have one card in the 50 card decks, it limits the probability of you pulling the card during your normal game. So if you only have one Wartime Juggernaut with Django, you wouldn't need to ban an entire leader, which gives you so much more potential with other colors and aspects. I mean, are you almost always going to run him red? Yeah, but you can like it allows you to still play the leader.
Mm-hmm.
You having 5 to 10 cards on a sheet of paper that you can download every 2 to 3 months and say, okay, I can only run one of these cards now is much easier than saying I can never play this card anymore.
Agreed.
Um, so like I said, I think there's a lot of hit or misses on their side, but I do believe FFG has done good recently to be listening to community. I just really hope they push to keep listening for us.
That's a very positive way to end. Well, I would like to thank you, Mr. Taylor, for giving us your time, your opinions, and always giving us your
Uh,
support on Under the Twin Suns. You're a kind man, a handsome man, a very fun man to hang out with. And do you have anything
oh,
else
I
you'd like to tell
try.
the beautiful people before you go?
Gosh, well, first I just want to say it's an honor to be here.
What
I
honor!
love, I mean it is. I mean I love the community that we have in the SWU atmosphere. I just think everyone I've been with has been unbelievably kind. Like no matter what LGS I've been to, like our community is just number one. So being able to come onto a podcast or a YouTube channel or any of the friends I have and be able to reach out and share what I love is just such a pleasure. Shout out to you, Cole, for really pushing for this and keep striding with this channel. And as it just keeps blowing up, I mean, bro, your views have been popping off sometimes.
Dude, I've been pretty happy. I can't lie. It's been getting to my head a
Um,
little bit. It's been
I'd calm him down, calm him down. No, but I just want to say thank you. Thanks for giving me your time and letting me have my input and output here as a way to just breathe into the community.
well, thank you for being here, and thank you for such kind words. And we'll catch you next time under the Twin Suns. Bye bye now.